Y'all know I be on here watching videos. I saw a couple of them. One of them I was tagged in, and it got the wheels turning. So I got to talk this through. I got to talk to y'all about it. One of them said this is what men with excess money will do, and another connected the dots between the Epstein files and what has always happened in this country. Let's talk about it. The United States was not founded by modest men with restraint. We know that. It was founded by men with land, bodies, capital, and impunity. So go back to the colonial period. Elite white men weren't just politicians. They were slaveholders, land speculators, judges, clergy, legislators, like all at the same time. There was no separation between private vice and public power. If you owned people, you also owned silence, sexual violence, especially against enslaved women and girls. It wasn't prosecuted because legally, those victims were property. Harm didn't exist unless it reduced value, full stop. So exploitation wasn't a scandal. It was baked into the economy. So fast forward to the early republic. Men like Thomas Jefferson weren't whispered about in their time. People knew. The behavior was tolerated because he was useful, productive, essential to the project, you know? Now, this is the through line that some people don't want to name. American power has always separated morality from governance, as long as wealth and influence were intact. Now, jump to the Gilded Age. Industrialists, railroad barons, financiers, men with unprecedented excuses, lived with near total immunity. Private islands, private rail cars, private arrangements, sex scandals, coercions, abuse, handled quietly. Money turned crimes into personal matters, law into suggestion, right? And when reform movements pushed back, the response wasn't accountability, it was containment, non disclosure, payoffs, discrediting women. Sound familiar? So when people act like Trump is some kind of rupture, I have to laugh a little. He is not a break from history, he's an unfiltered continuation. The only thing different is that he doesn't bother with decorum. Now, when we see a name in those Epstein files, and let's be real, no one with an ounce of historical literacy is confused. That is not about one man. It's about a system that's always allowed men with excess money to circulate in spaces where rules don't apply. Epstein didn't invent exploitation, he operationalized it. He created the infrastructure for behavior that already had a long legal and cultural precedent: wealth as insulation. Now, here's the part that should really land. Right. It's been about 250 years. Different eras, different language, same protection. Men with power are given time, benefit, complexity. Victims are given suspicion, silence, and questions every single time. So, no, I don't expect this administration to do something fundamentally different. Not because Trump is uniquely monstrous, but because the presidency itself has always absorbed men like him without collapsing. The system knows how to hold him, and it was designed that way. And once you study the pattern, you stop asking, how could this happen? And you start asking the only honest question: why do we pretend like this country was ever built to stop men with excess money when it spent centuries protecting them? That's the history, that's the inheritance. And that's why none of this is as surprising as people like to think it is.